The following is a special presentation of Extreme eSpeed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and eSpeed.
Welcome to Kern County Raceway Park as we are back in action for the Extreme eSpeed TV Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed, as we are back here for night number 2 of the Wild West Classic from Kern County. I am Travis Pierceville, joined as always with Adam Johnson. And Adam, it was an exciting night of racing last night here to kick off the racing action.
Oh my gosh, good evening, Travis. Yes, it was, and really it's kind of exciting for the Dylan Perry camp, but not for anybody else's. He is now 2 for 2 on the season. First 2 races of the year, Lernerville and Kern County, night number 1, and in victory for Dylan Perry. And I'll tell you what, he did it in pretty dramatic fashion last night. A little bit of a smaller field, I believe, 14 cars, and that late lap pass was made on lap number 3, I believe. Dylan Perry was able to get by Brandon Marlowe and pick up the win. He was also your Buttkicker hard charger, so I'll tell you what, there was a lot of storylines, and it wasn't the easiest of wins for Dylan Perry. Kind of a sluggish start, starting 11th, but it's kind of, whether he was in a fog, he was able to get out of it. But I will say one thing, Travis, speaking of fog, there was some weather earlier today around Kern County Raceway. And we were monitoring the situation about 3 hours ago. It has cleared up, as you can see on your screen. Still some clouds deep in the distance, but I think we're in for a great night of racing tonight.
Should be, as you see Kenny Haight on the track there in that 46 machine. He's one of the 6 rookies here tonight in action. And, of course, going for that AC Customs Graphics Rookie of the Year award this year, as that has been an exciting race and standings to watch the last couple of years as we continue our 2024 season here tonight from Kern County Raceway Park. We're just getting set here, so get settled in. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll inch closer to our qualifying session here at Kern County as you're watching the Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family-owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Showdown.
This is the premier podcast for late model dirt track racing. This is Forward Bite, hosted by superfan and actual know-it-all Kyle Armstrong on the Speed Sport Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forward Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Armstrong.
Introducing the latest technology in the racing industry, SpringRithm. SpringRithm is an app that can replace a spring smasher, giving you access to the same information the fast guys are using to stay ahead. The app tells you where to set your coilover nuts to hit your install loads and tells you the dynamic loads that the car will see in travel. It also simplifies adjustments at the track, giving you the information needed to adjust loads without taking the shock off the car. SpringRithm has been rigorously tested to ensure accuracy. There's no excuse to not be using SpringRithm.
Welcome back to Kern County Raceway Park as we have practice session here wrapped up for the most part as the drivers' meeting's about to begin here shortly as we inch closer to Houston Guttering time trials here for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. And Adam, this is a new track on the schedule, really a new track in iRacing here. So a lot of guys will be taking on this track. I know a couple of them for the first time. That'll be interesting to watch tonight.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough not to have a lot of cautions, but kind of as we talked kind of before this broadcast, there might be some guys causing cautions just with the unfamiliarity of the track. And I'll tell you, one guy who's looking pretty sharp may have been doing his homework. Aiden Young, fast in practice right now. Best time of 13:09. He really ties with Brandon Marlowe. So Brandon Marlowe, he did well last night. As you see there on the left side of your screen, about 8 minutes remaining in practice. A lot of the guys, as Travis alluded to, they're kind of getting into the groove right now, making some fine-tuning and adjustments and getting set with that driver's meeting. So, yeah, you look at those top three all within very, close time, Young, Marlowe, and McGlone. McGlone finally took that rookie stripe off, and he's looking to kind of make his name known this season as really he can get himself into veteran status just with the strong experience he has in iRacing. And I kind of want to go over a few things when it comes to the upcoming schedule. Weren't on the air last night. That weather kind of affected us from where we were traveling, so we are on air tonight. But I'll let you know that we got a few races coming up in February. We got the Super Bowl of Racing at Charlotte right before Valentine's Day. Maybe take your day to an early night out. Maybe gather around the YouTube stream and maybe just kind of watch the race here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Then, of course, back-to-back nights of Winter Nationals at Volusia. We will not be on the air for that one on the 27th, but we will be on the air for the 28th, a couple weeks after Valentine's Day. And you may notice in that small fine print, tonight is a double points night. So, there's a chance for some of these drivers who are really every driver aside from Dylan Perry chasing the top spot. If you can get a win here, it's like winning 2 races essentially. So a lot on the line, and really you could flip that and say, hey, for Dylan Perry, you can do the exact same thing. You can put the pressure on the rest of the field. And can you imagine, 3 weeks in, being up 4 or 5 races worth? That could be a pretty big deal. So in the standings right now, your top 3: Dylan Perry, Brandon Marlowe, who's finishing strong lately, and then Jason Crow, one of our rookies, only 37 points back. So Travis, there's a lot of storylines, a lot of new faces, some that made part-time appearances last year, but we got about a 16-car field tonight, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a heck of a start to the season, which is already, can you believe it, 3 races in.
Already 3 races in, and that point standing's very close, with even Dylan Perry picking up the 2 wins to start. Brandon Marlowe just back, and as you mentioned, that double points night could evaporate that gap entirely for Brandon Marlowe here. Rookies up towards the top, as we'll look at those rookies here coming into the season. We saw in action last year throughout the season with some sporadic starts here in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series, but here full time here in 2024, so that'll be exciting to watch as well. And then Adam, we also have some of those sanctioned races through.
Yeah, we do, and what I'm excited about is the way that Cody kind of spread these out is there's action all year. Now you're going to get a little bit of a break between that February and November day, but that's when we're really in the heat of the the Pro Late Model Dirt Series schedule. So you got that Kokomo Speedway one, and then really look at that Lucas Oil, Cedar Lake, back to back. I mean, I'm telling you, the Icebreaker, what an event, what that turned out to be. And then take a look at some of these updated ones on your screen now. So I'll tell you what, a lot to be excited about. And as we kind of wrap up practice here in a moment, you can see that darkened sky. I'm not sure if any precipitation is going to get down tonight or if it's just going to miss us, but I'll tell you what, that track is already pretty racy. And once we get to Houston Guttering time trials, the Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown, and then you get to those the carrier heat races, the main event. I mean, that track is going to, take a picture of it right now because it's going to look a lot different not too long from now.
Speaking of those carrier heat races, with 15 cars, we should have 3 of those tonight, as that will kick off our racing action portion after our Houston Guttering time trials. And with that, drivers are now in the drivers meeting down in the pit area. We're going to take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have Houston Guttering time trials coming here from Kern County Raceway Park as you watch the Pro Late Model Dirt Series on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Showdown.
This is the premier podcast for late model dirt track racing. This is Forward Bite, hosted by superfan and actual know-it-all Kyle Armstrong on the Speed Sport Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forward Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Armstrong.
Introducing the latest technology in the racing industry, SpringRithm. SpringRithm is an app that can replace a spring smasher, giving you access to the same information the fast guys are using to stay ahead. The app tells you where to set your coilover nuts to hit your install loads and tells you the dynamic loads that the car will see in travel. It also simplifies adjustments at the track, giving you the information needed to adjust loads without taking the shock off the car. SpringRithm has been rigorously tested to ensure accuracy. There's no excuse to not be using SpringRithm.
Welcome back to Kern County Raceway Park as we are less than a minute away from Houston Guttering time trials. As always with the Pro Late Model Dirt Series, we'll go one car at a time. Well, two cars at a time. But it will be lone qualifying, so you will see all the drivers turn in their times as they do live. And Adam, it's looking like you brought up Aiden Young, but you've also got Brandon Marlowe, who's been fast. And then you look at Dylan Perry, our winner from last night, started 11th last night, 6th fastest in hot laps.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where he ends up after Houston Guttering time trials and the heat races, because one thing we learned about Dylan Perry is I really try not to put, having watched enough of his races, I really don't put a ton of stock in really anything but the main event with Dylan Perry. And even when he starts the main event, in the middle, even sometimes towards the rear, he's just so patient. He understands his car and really the drivers around him that he keeps it pretty clean. He's able to kind of navigate his way in. I'm still excited for Houston Guttering time trials to see how he does, but I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to get too high if he starts first, but I'm also not going to get too low if maybe he's 7th through 12th. As we get a look here, trying to see who's going to come out on the track first. It looks like the possibility it could be. You saw the Colin Voiles machine there briefly for a moment. It looks like it will be the one of Colin Voiles, and if so, he's from Decatur, Illinois, with Trimby & Sons Concrete, Building Systems of Illinois, Rich DPC, Vortex Wraps, and Logitech, and he's got that Longhorn chassis and Vic Hill race engine. You'll see him pull out number one, starting number one in Houston Guttering time trials, and he's one of the series veterans here. And if I take a look at our standings, I'm looking for Colin Voiles, and it looks like he's 12th right now, just outside of the top 10, 83 points back of the lead. He's got one top 10 on the year.
Also on the track is that 51 of Jacob Lassiter, picked up his first career win last season. He's from Dresden, Tennessee. Team Hot Lap Heroes, Larson Logistics, Crow Trucking, and Tin Tech. As he will shoot to the top of the charts at 13.61, besting Voiles 13.80. Colin Voiles will complete his final lap, a 13.76. Jacob Lassiter completes his third lap. A 13.61 will be his time.
Now rolling out on the track, one of our rookies, Hayden Sweeney from Chatsworth, Georgia, with DPR, Chip Bangers Racing, Twisted Tea Engines, Dirt Chasers Media, Custom Ink Concepts, and AK Custom Creations with that CVR race car chassis and Twisted Performance engine.
Also on the track is our rookie 224 Tyler Benefield from Huntsville, Alabama. Dylan Perry Racing, Foskey Illustrations, Rapid Race Graphics, Huffman Tire, Chipbanger Racing, Liberty Racing Review, Extreme eSpeed TV, Bang and Sets, Combs Cuts, and Big Pimpin' Race Cars. As Benefield a 13.78, Sweeney a 13.85.
Yeah, Benefield 17th in the standings. You got Sweeney 14th in the standings overall. Still very early. We're going to see a lot of movement, especially in a race like tonight with it being double points. But you got to like that start there for Lassiter. Still the quickest with 13.61.
as they will end up 2nd and 4th respectively.
And that'll bring up the 71 of John Hine from St. Louis, Missouri with Bass Pro Shops, Extreme eSpeed TV, and Gambler Motorsports with that Rocket XR1 chassis and Durham Racing engine on the inside.
Also out on the track's that 22 of Brandon Bender from Minford, Ohio. B&B Baits Customs and Combs Cuts on that 22 machine. He's got a Rocket chassis. Hine, 1385, 4th fastest. Bender will push him down now 4th fastest with a 1377.
Yeah, Bender 4th right now, but 6th overall in standings coming into this one. So looking to stay in the top 10. Heck, may even crack the top 5 as he jumps to number 1 here in Houston Guttering Time Trials with a 13.6 flat.
Now on the track's that 27 of Jason Crow, another rookie from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Hot Lap Heroes Crow Trucking on his Longhorn chassis. He's going to be the final driver of this first group to qualify.
All right, Jason Crow looking to bounce back from getting past late in the race. 5th fastest time so far with 13.78. We'll see if he can improve it. And he does. Just jumps in front of Voiles, 13.75.
Out on the track is our champion, Dylan Perry, and his number 7 from Ringgold, Georgia. Evans Air Conditioning, Extreme eSpeed TV, Piercefield Media Group, CVR Race Car, Rapid Race Graphics, Lickum and Stickum Signs and Designs, Harrison Automotive, as he's got that CVR race car.
Brandon Marlowe now out there on the track from Benton, Missouri. The Hot Labs Heroes Racing, Tintech Seamless Guttering Crow Trucking, and Capital Race Car Chassis and Custom Race Engine. You see Perry only bumps up to 13.84, good enough for 8th. We'll see if he can improve that next time by. Most drivers are improving it on that 2nd lap.
Brandon Marlowe is fast in hot laps. He is fast here in qualifying as well. 3rd fastest, a 13.73, as Dylan Perry jumps up to 5th, a 13.75. As the next 2 cars wait to go out on the track, and it's going to start with that 75 of Andy Piercefield. Andy Piercefield from Ball Ground, Georgia. Extreme eSpeed TV, Evans Air Conditioning, Arizona Sports Shirts, Piercefield Media Group, as he's got that Masterbuilt race car.
Out there right now, Kendrick Hicks joining us with AC Custom Graphics on the car, looking sharp in that scheme, looking nice and dark under the night sky here out west. We'll see what he can put down. Looks like a 14.01, good enough for 10th fastest so far. We'll see if he can improve as we look to see Piercefield's number.
Piercefield has a 14.41. Kendrick Hicks will finish his qualifying session. He will not improve. He will stay 9th fastest in 18.84. And now we'll have that 41 of Austin McGlone.
That's right, Austin McGlone joining us from Hillsborough, Kentucky, with Chip Bangers Racing, FHP Consulting, KMJ Graphics, Cool Ray and Coolin, Project X Coatings, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, Perry's Playhouse, and Goat Farm Posse.
69 of Aiden Young also out there, as he was fastest in hot laps earlier. Aiden Young from Dalton, New Hampshire, Young Gun Creations, the Farmyard Store, and Gambler Motorsports. Aiden picked up a victory early in the 2022 season. Went winless last year in 2023, looking to get back into victory lane. Young of 1393, good for 12th fastest. Austin McGlone, 3rd fastest, a 1369.
So Bender's still sitting atop, along with Lassiter, McGlone, and Marlowe. So you have to go a little ways down to find our rookie Benefield representing that class. And race director, series promoter, Cody Early, joining us from Greenville, Tennessee with that Bass Pro Shops, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Hoosier Racing Tires, Oakley Sunglasses, and Bowman Designs, BMF Race Car Chassis, and Vic Hill Racing Engines. Always good to see the different types of engines we've got in these machines, and there's a couple of with the Vic Hill Racing engines, he as well as Joshua Johnson and Colin Boyles.
Cody Early, a 14.16, 13th fastest. As he looks to finish up, he's the last driver of this session or group of cars. We'll have 2 more left. It's Brandon Combs and Kenny Haight going to round out our Houston Guttering time trial session. As Cody will improve to a 13.94, staying in that 13th spot. Kenny Haight out on the track in that number 46 machine from Benton, Louisiana. Hot Lap Heroes, Crow Trucking, Tin Tech Seamless Gutters, iRacing, iFlag, Marco's Moose Ranch, Hair Care, and Tire Center. Farthest North Race Shop and Martin Sports, also in a Masterbuilt race car.
Also out there, Brandon Combs joining us from Cincinnati, Ohio, with Super Dirt Race Series, Chip Bangers Racing's B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, GFP, Extreme eSpeed TV, FHP Consulting, among many other partners on that ride. And you see why when you watch him race. He's got that big Pimpin' Race Cars by Perry chassis and Phantom Race engines on the inside. Both he and Dylan Perry have the Phantom Race engine. You'll see right now, he races around there. Combs good enough for 4th fastest with 13.73. Kenny Haight finishes in the top 10 with a 13.81, so not a bad run for our last 2 gentlemen.
And our Houston Guttering Time Trials fast time is going to go to that 22 of Brandon Bender, as he will pick up the pole award here tonight for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series at Kern County Raceway Park. And just like that, all 16 cars up, all 16 cars down in Houston Guttering Time Trials, as we'll move on next to those carrier heat races, as we'll get started with the carrier heat race number 1 in that starting lineup here in a minute. Any surprises to you here in this Houston Guttering Time Trials session, Adam?
Not necessarily a surprise, but I'd say Dylan Perry's, finishing 7th is very similar to what we saw last night. I guess it's interesting to see Jason Crow right behind him. I know he had a strong night last night, so both of them kind of in the middle, and Brandon Marlowe top 5 with his speed. So really all of them within a few, kind of packed together with Tyler Benefield sandwich between all of them. And I'm curious to see where this is going to shake out. Are we going to see the same top 3? They look good in practice, but man, I mean, you got 75 laps, double points on the line. I don't think it's going to be that easy as we get set here for carrier heat race number 1. And it'll be led by the Brandon and Brandon company of Brandon Bender and Brandon Combs. Behind them, Dylan Perry and the rookie Kenny Haight, with another rookie behind them, Hayden Swaney and Andy Piercefield. So we'll wait for them to roll out. We're all set here from our studio. Thankful that you're joining us here on Extreme eSpeed TV. So 2x2x2 as we get set to go green here. Really looking forward to the Brandon Bender, Brandon Combs battle, and hopefully while they try to keep each other at bay, you got to watch out for Dylan Perry behind you. Dylan Perry has one heat win so far this season. The only one with 2 would be Jason Crow. They're set to come around. Should be going green here. And the action starts tonight with Carrier Heat Race number 1.
So they'll head off 2x2 into turn number 1. Brandon Bender gets a little sideways there. That'll slow down his momentum as it's Combs to the lead here quick. Dylan Perry makes quick work as he's now working on the lead here before they complete lap number 1.
Man, that track in certain spots is... Oh, that's a bumpy track right there. Brandon goes there, airborne almost. My goodness, Andy Piercefield struggling there in the back. Not the smoothest first lap, but they are able to keep kind of away from each other at least.
Just like that, Kenny Haight now moving into that 3rd spot as Brandon Bender's rebounded to the 2nd position. Very rough track, Adam, and then also you've got that lip to the inside. It's really hard to see as there is that change of color, but besides that, there's no, no tires, no lines. Oh, as it looks like the 22 and Dylan Perry make contact. Oh, Bender hard into the wall.
Oh, carnage. Oh, the wheel's coming off. Oh, and even over the lip like you talked about, he's headed to the porta potty. As you see, the medical lights are on. Dylan Perry lost a piece of that machine, and very rare you see Perry involved in any incident. My goodness, it could have been a lot worse, but that bumpy track could cause some problems tonight.
Looks like they had contact coming out of turn number 4 and down the front stretch, and when they headed off, Bender had some broken equipment underneath that car going straight into the turn 1 wall. But we'll line them back up. We're halfway through Carrier Heat Race number 1 here. It is Brandon Combs up front, Kenny Haight going to line up in the 2nd position. Looks like Hayden Swaney and Dylan Perry both made their way into the work area as well, as Brandon Bender's now back out on the track.
Yeah, they both pulled off, and I'll tell you what, I did not expect that from these drivers, and that just kind of shows you these conditions, not the most ideal, I guess you could say. Maybe they need some weather to kind of smooth some things out. I'm not sure, but that was entertaining to say the least in a group that rarely brings out cautions. So I'm interested to see if they can maybe keep it smooth the rest of this, but if they have issues, I wouldn't be shocked if we have some other cautions in maybe some of these other heat races.
And Brandon Bender has returned to the work area, so he will not complete this Carrier Heat Race. As we go back to green flag racing action, Combs, Haight, Perry, your top 3. Piercefield up to 4th, Swaney in the 5th spot, as Dylan Perry quickly working to the inside of Haight.
Yeah, looking a little smoother right now. The big gap between the first 3 and the final 2 behind them. They're racing hard right now. Perry is kind of using all parts of the track.
You can see how rough the track is down through 1 and 2. You can see Andy Piercefield and in 3 and 4 running a much higher line, going up around some of those bumps there as he's moved down now there, as he's got Swaney on his rear. As Dylan Perry comes out of turn number 4, Combs comes out. He will win. Dylan Perry looking to get past Kenny Haight, unable to do. Kenny Haight will finish 2nd, Dylan Perry 3rd, Andy Piercefield 4th, Hayden Swaney in the 5th position. And now we will move on to our Carrier Heat Race number 2.
That's right. It'll be led by Jacob Lassiter and Brandon Marlowe. Behind them, Jason Crow and John Hine, with Aiden Young starting 5th. And I will say that Brandon Combs, that Carrier Heat win was his first of the season. Got to give him some confidence for what's going to be a long night for all these drivers. And also, you see it there with Brandon Marlowe. He's got something to prove. He's kind of looking for redemption tonight, as well as the guy starting not far behind him at Jason Crow. So there's some heavy hitters in this group right here. Wouldn't be shocked if they finish 1-2, but I also wouldn't be shocked if you see Lassiter keep his strong performance going after the way he started with Houston Guttering time trials.
Well, tonight is 35 more laps in that feature event, as we'll do 75. You'll also have to factor in that tire wear. So we've seen some long green flag runs here in this series. Be interesting to see how that plays out tonight, especially for Brandon Marlowe that came so close to winning last night. They make their way through turns 3 and 4 here, set to go green. Carrier Heat Race number 2 is officially underway, and we're back to racing action. Marlowe and Lassiter off into turn number 1.
And it's a smooth start as they begin to fan out. Ooh, a little bit of an overcorrection possibly there by the 51, but Lassiter's able to keep it clean. John Hine doing his thing back there as well, making it hard to catch up if you lose ground, and Marlowe's capitalizing off of that right now.
Watching him through the corners, it'll be interesting to see how high up that lane will move up throughout that feature, as it's down low to middle right now here through Carrier Heat Races, and you can see the bumps there at both ends of the track. As we quickly get single file here in Carrier Heat Race number 2, it's still Brandon Marlowe out front, Lassiter in second.
And 5 laps remaining on this one. Not too much movement in terms of where these guys have started. A little bit of flip-flopping, but other than that, staying pretty consistent, a little spread out. Maybe this is looking a little bit more like what you expect from the series when you get to kind of a mid-race in a 75-lapper. So kind of getting a feel for the track. A great opportunity to do that, honestly, right now, especially when you got a little bit of distance, see what your car can do in certain situations, but also understanding your car's not going to drive the exact same way each and every lap when you got a lot of wear and tear taking place. Man, you can see certain parts of that Marlowe machine, just you'll watch it bounce, and my goodness, it's a little bit of a feat to keep up. And yeah, you can kind of follow it along here, just the way they whip it around, but just jostling around. It's good that we have such safe helmet technology, quite honestly, as we get a little bit closer now to the white flag coming out. Brandon Marlowe, if he hits his points, he's a lap away from Carrier Heat Race number 2.
Lassiter following him through 1 and 2 down the backstretch for the final time in Carrier Heat Race number 2. Lassiter will look low, but it will be Brandon Marlowe out of turn number 4. He wins Carrier Heat Race number 2. Lassiter second, Crow third, Young fourth, John Hine in 5th. And with that, we will move on to Carrier Heat Race number 3.
Yes, we will. And beginning Carrier Heat Race number 3 on the front row will be Austin McGlone and Tyler Benefield. Behind them, Colin Boyles and Kendrick Hicks, with Cody Early starting 5th. I will say with that Brandon Marlowe Carrier Heat Race number 2 win, that is heat win number 2 on the season for him, and he joins Jason Crow, now tied the top for the most heat wins in this early Pro Late Model Dirt Series season.
So Austin McGlone, someone that is not a stranger to victory lane, looking to pick up his first feature win tonight of the 2024 season. He had some great battles last season for wins. Looking to do some more of that here in 2024, as that pace car will pull off over there at turn number 1. It's almost a full lap here back to the green flag. Benefield, a rookie that had some great runs last year as well, back full-time this year. As they come out of turn number 4, we're back to green flag racing action. Austin McGlone leads them off. Colin Boyles to the inside. You've got Hicks to the outside. The front 3 break away quickly here. Austin McGlone leading the charge.
Yeah, much more aggressive and quick start than what we saw from that last heat race, and I'm kind of liking it. These guys were able to kind of keep a little spaced out. Oh, a little bit of a Not sure what happened there to Benefield. Lost a little bit of steering, but quickly drops back to third. But hey, somehow returns with a boost of speed. And man, it looked like for a moment he had lost the steering, but maybe it was all part of the plan as Kendrick Hicks tries to regain what he thought he had.
This group in Carrier Heat Race number 3 pushing that outside groove up as high as they can. Some of the highest racing we've seen here thus far as Hicks trying to look to the inside of Benefield for second, unable to complete the pass as that 224 has the momentum off the corner. Up front, it's still Austin McGlone. He's pulled out to a second lead here as this is the battle on the track as you've got Colin Voiles trying to look to the inside of Hicks. Hicks trying to find a lane around Benefield.
Yeah, to no avail though. Oh, a little bit of contact there, but man, just a credit to Hicks. He's able to keep that machine looking so sharp, and man, it just gives you a lot of respect for these drivers and how much they have to, negotiate that wheel to keep it looking a lot more under control than I bet it is at some points of the track as we approach just about now. Man, the overhead view from little brother Andy, absolutely incredible as we are on the final lap.
Down the backstretch for the final time, it's the 41 of Austin McGlone. Through 3 and 4, Carrier Heat Race number 3 will go to Austin McGlone. Benefield second, Hicks third, Voiles fourth, Cody Early in fifth. And with that, there is no Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown tonight. The cars will prepare for tonight's 75-lap feature event. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have tonight's national anthem and pre-race here for the Wild West Classic from Kern County Raceway Park as you're watching the Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
is the premier podcast for late model dirt track racing. This is Forward Bite, hosted by superfan and actual know-it-all Kyle Armstrong on the Speed Sport Podcast Network.
Welcome back to another edition of the Forward Bite Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Armstrong.
Welcome back to Kern County Raceway Park as we get ready for our 75-lap Wild West Classic feature event. We will move on to pre-race festivities as we've got tonight's national anthem. And now all that's left is our 75-lap feature event. We're going to take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have the Wild West Classic from Kern County Raceway Park.
Introducing the latest technology in the racing industry, SpringRithm. SpringRithm is an app that can replace a spring smasher, giving you access to the same information the fast guys are using to stay ahead. The app tells you where to set your coilover nuts to hit your install loads and tells you the dynamic loads that the car will see in travel. It also simplifies adjustments at the track, giving you the information needed to adjust loads without taking the shock off the car. SpringRithm has been rigorously tested to ensure accuracy. There's no excuse to not be using SpringRithm.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Kern County Raceway Park as we get ready for that 75-lap feature event. Adam, who's your pick for the winner tonight here at Kern County?
I'm an underdog kind of guy. I was pulling for the Lions. That didn't work out, so I'm sorry to say, but I'm gonna go for Brandon Marlowe or Jason Crow. I'm going for the underdog, the guy who needs redemption, needs to get back on the saddle. And really, my dark horse pick, I'm gonna say a guy like Aiden Young. He was quick in practice. Maybe he brings it to the big leagues, to the main event tonight, Shane.
Well, we will get started with that starting lineup down here on the front stretch, and they're going to line up like this.
Yes, sir, they will. It'll be the Brandon and Brandon show once again. Brandon Combs and Brandon Marlowe. Row 2 of Austin McGlone and Kenny Haight. Row 3 of Jacob Lassiter and Tyler Benefield. Row 4 of Dylan Perry and Jason Crow. Row 5, Kendrick Hicks and Andy Piercefield rounding out the top 10 with Aiden Young and Colin Voiles behind them. And just behind them, 2 more rows of Hayden Swaney and John Hine, as well as Cody Early and Brandon Bender.
So we will get them out on the pace lap here. 16 cars battling for the Wild West Classic victory here from Kern County Raceway Park. Hospitality has been great all week long, as they will give that salute to the fans. A great group of fans here tonight, packing the front stretch here at this racetrack as they will go wide and give the salute.
Look at this right here. Love when they kind of salute the fans for making it out here. Track fully nighttime now and a full crowd as well here in Kern County before we head back from the West Coast trip. So it's good to see a little respect for the folks who come out. We got fans nationwide, and you see it from the drivers. I'm looking at the roster right now. You've got Illinois, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio. I'm looking everywhere. West Virginia, New Hampshire, and Florida. It's just amazing to see where these drivers race from, and just talent all across the United States. And you just love to see it play out in this series. So I say we stack them up right here. We get the pace car to line them up one more time, and before you know it, we'll be racing a double points race from Kern County. 75 laps tonight, and you're going to want to watch all of them here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
Adam, you always get fired up when it's doubling up time, so we're going to have Brandon Combs, Brandon Marlowe on that front row as we get ready to go 75 laps of racing action here at Kern County. As that pace car pulls on off, we've got less than a lap before going green.
Crowd on their feet, fired up to see the Brandon and Brandon show kick us off here.
All right, let's go Brandon Combs here to get us started for the green flag. It will wave and we're racing at Kern County.
A clean start for the field right now. Brandon Combs holding that lead over Brandon Marlowe, and I'll tell you what, you got Kenny Haight trying to make a move as well. He's battling it with Austin McGlone tonight. I'm liking what I'm seeing tonight. They're racing respectfully, but man, those cars are jostling around right now.
Dylan Perry looking to go 7 and 11 here for this visit from Kern County. Started 11th last night, picked up the victory, starting 7th here tonight. As we have close racing action down throughout the field. Here's Andy Pearson. Oh, he'll go around. Slight contact, they'll get it going. We'll stay green. It's Brandon Combs out front. Brandon Marlowe is Austin McGlone looking for a move on that second place spot.
Wow, that could have been a lot worse. Piercefield trying to get a good reset in, but I'll tell you what, if he's lost too much momentum, he might be one of our first to experience some lap traffic. As you see Dylan Perry almost getting squished to that lip you talked about, and it's sometimes okay to be by that lip, but you don't want to get too far over it.
A fat lip down there to the inside. You see Dylan Perry riding it there around Lassiter. Now he looks to the inside of Crow. That opening will close for a moment, and he's back to it through 1 and 2. Kenny Haight making a move on the inside of Austin McGlone. He'll lose that momentum as he slides up the track. Austin McGlone will hold on to third. Now it's Brandon Marlowe putting pressure on Brandon Combs for the lead.
Yeah, kind of a deceiving track right now, because you'll see in certain parts of the track, it's almost like a front stretch where they look single file, you think it's relatively safe, and then bam, they get to the turn and they're all just kind of banging sheet metal. So I'll tell you what, we're not even 10 laps into this one, and those cars are starting to get pretty dirty. There's a lot flying right now.
So you can see the front five really single file now. As Lassiter has fallen out of the top five, he currently rides in the 8th position. See him in that 51 machine as Dylan Perry trying to move up. He's down to the inside, and he's a bottom feeder. He'll go down there earlier in the race when others are staying high and just pick them off one by one as there's opportunity. But he has already made his way up to 6. But out front, it's Brandon Combs holding on to the lead as he's led them all, working lap number 11.
Yeah, you're right. Dylan Perry, kind of a dirt track trailblazer, and he's slowly getting his way up to Brandon Combs. And I'll tell you what, relatively clean start to this race, which is what we like to see. And I'm really curious to see if Brandon Combs can extend this lead. It feels like for a moment he does, and then you get a good run from whether it's Marlowe and McGlone. And my goodness, a little bit of chaos there near the infield. Hope Andy's okay.
So Andy Pierceville back on the track. He is 1 lap down here. As you see, he's having some issues here early. As really that battle still up front is Austin McGlone now looking to the inside of Brandon Marlowe, trying to make it up as we are almost 15 laps into this event. Green flag, and Adam, we've seen some long green flag runs here with the Pro Late Model Dirt Series as of late.
Yeah, we had an unbelievable zero caution lap number in race number 1, and then the one last night, I think they only had a couple. So, I don't believe in the announcer's jinx. You've heard me say that before, so I'm just hoping to see them kind of keep this going, keep it clean, and I'm liking what we're seeing from these guys. It's strategic racing. It's very, very well played out.
Some strategery going on here, especially back in the pack. You got Colin Boyles, Aiden Young, and Kendrick Hicks here, a group of 3 that are racing tight quarters. Oh, and Crow will go around. He'll get slightly tapped there, as that will be our first caution of the night here on lap number 17. Brandon Combs, your leader. Brandon Marlowe, second. Austin McGlone, Kenny Haight, and Tyler Benefield, your top 5.
Man, a brutal hit there for Crow. One of the ones we all kind of said, hey, this is going to be, when it comes to the odds of winners, he had pretty high odds, and we'll see what kind of repairs are needed for that damage. It didn't look debilitating, but it certainly doesn't help to have your quarter panel dinged in like that. So we'll see. If anything, what this is going to do for a lot of the drivers, kind of allows them not to white knuckle right now. Maybe get a drink of water or something next to them. So there's an opportunity here for a reset, because I'll tell you what, if they had to go 75 uninterrupted laps, full tilt, full speed ahead, that's we got some of the heart rate monitors on some of these guys, and you'll see the beats per minute relatively high. So hopefully they can kind of calm it down here, reset. You see Andy Piercefield rocket around there. He's trying to get a good feel for the track. One that he doesn't make too many laps around. So pretty entertaining first start of this race. Still a lot to go here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
So Andy Pierceville will get back on the lead lap. Of course, we've got wave arounds. That's for the first half of the feature here in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. So a timely caution for him. As it's Brandon Combs up front. He's led all 16 laps here to get us started. Brandon Marlowe second, Austin McGlone, Kenny Haight. That's your top 4. That's as they started. Then you go back to Tyler Benefield. He's up 1 spot. Dylan Perry up 1 spot. Jacob Lassiter, the one down 2 there. As we'll get double file restart.
Double file. See if there's any more cautions tonight. That one pretty uncommon. First time we saw a car completely sideways, aside from that near incident with Andy Pierce. So as they go back to green here on Extreme eSpeed TV, Brandon rifling to the top, and behind them, man, wheels off the ground for Austin McGlone. Oh, and now he's sideways. Are they able to control it? They are. Man, that takes a lot of work to avoid contact. And Dylan Perry, look at him just waiting in the weeds to get by.
3 wide up ahead of him. That's Austin McGlone in that sandwich there, as Benefield's been able to move up. He's up into the 4th spot, now up 2 spots from his starting spot. Here early, it's Brandon Bender, who was fast in time trials, had issues in the carrier heat race. He's our Buttkicker hard charger right now, up 5 spots to the 11th position. And you can see this battle still 2 wide there as Dylan Perry moves up to the outside of Austin McGlone. Austin McGlone was trying to look to the inside of Benefield, and now he's under attack from the behind.
Never a good spot to be in when you're in front of that, but I'll tell you what, these drivers have seen it all there. They're quite familiar with each other, front and the back, and it looks like a little bit of contact. These guys really aren't touching the wall or really pushing it towards the top of the wall much tonight. That tells you that middle to high lane really working, but you do. Oh, it looks like Laster gets turned. Amazing job by Bender to avoid that, but the caution will come out as Andy just passes by him as well. Man, that could have been a lot worse.
Well, at this point in the race, Adam, you would think there'd be a lot of givers and takers, and there's been a lot of bumping and grinding around those, and not a lot of give and take, so we'll see how that plays out here, as we're only about a third of the way through this with almost 50 laps to go.
Yeah, you're right. It is early in the night, and you kind of notice that the track, it's dry, so you're not going to get too much of that kind of in and out, quick bumping and grinding when it's this dry. But you are starting to see, whether it's some of the weather or just the track darkening, is it's getting slicker kind of the more that the guys are going around it. So it's still early. A couple cautions might be because of kind of that dry and bumpy track, but just knowing these drivers, they're kind of cultivating the track to the way they want it right now.
As our second caution of the night, as to your point, track really getting rubbed in at this point, as we'll see how it continues to change throughout the evening. Brandon Combs, Brandon Marlowe, still your front 2. Kenny Haight, Tyler Benefield, and Dylan Perry now your top 5, as this latest caution caused a little shake-up towards the top.
And I don't want to be premature, but I will say that, you know, with Brandon Combs, Brandon Marlowe, those are 2 guys that, as long as they can stay clean and stay off the contact from the other cars, I think they're set for a heck of a night as we see the pace car roll off, and we're about to go back to green after our second caution of the night.
Some housekeeping duty. Jason Crow, who had that first incident, he is appearing to load up. His crew member Tater Tot couldn't rub that one out, as he will finish with 16 laps complete. As we get ready to go back to green, it's Brandon Combs. Great restart for Brandon Combs as he jumps out to lead. Oh, caution flag again. Looking like John Hine in this latest incident, so that'll be a third caution. So we talked about that long green flag run to start 14 laps. Now the next 10 laps, we've had 2 cautions here quickly. As we hit lap number 25, 50 laps to go.
Yeah, putting on my math cap, we are 33.3% of the way through this race at the Kern County Raceway Park. Some great statistician numbers from little brother Andy on his T85 calculator. Brandon Show still out front. Kenny Haight would love to get on that front row.
As they get ready to go down the backstretch, we'll go back to green this time by. colors. Green flag waves, and we're back to racing action. Great racing action from second on as we've got a cluster of cars here all battling it out. Led by Kenny Haight there and Brandon Marlowe to the outside.
Yeah, definitely spread out, and these drivers are really good at coming after a hot restart, able to avoid kind of that contact, but it's where we get kind of crossed over and moved over towards the middle of the race that really kind of jacks these guys up. And really, we talk about this every time, but Dylan Perry, he's in 6th right now. You would think, oh, maybe it's a light night for him, but I'm telling you, watch out for that number 7. The last thing you want is to give this guy really the lane, and he's relatively safe down there, I think. No one's really cutting in front of him, and I think he's fine running that inside line. I feel like if he wanted to get to the top, he would be going up there, but no rush right now, at least.
So this battle continues here. Now it falls back as Brandon Marlowe is able to separate slightly. Now it's 3rd place on back, and with Kenny Haight and Benefield side by side, there's nowhere for Austin McGlone and Dylan Perry to go. But look at that. Brandon Bender now up 9 spots. He is in the 7th spot, Adam. He was fast in time trials and apparently fast here in the feature event.
That man wants more than the Buttkicker Hard Charger Award. He might want the win. A top 10 would be amazing, as little brother Andy brought his pet parrot in here for a moment, but good to see that just fly away. As we are just under halfway in this race.
So this 4-car battle, this 4-way here from 3rd on back continues. You've got Benefield and Haight in the front. In the back, you've got Austin McGlone and Dylan Perry. Oh, and Benefield slams the wall there out of turn number 4. Austin McGlone has to check up slightly. But now look at it. You've got Brandon Bender and Colin Boyles about to enter this party as well.
Well, a little Houdini act there from Benefield. But he comes back into focus. You see Austin McGlone as well. So I'm telling you, that top 4, I mean, the top 3 stayed pretty consistent, but Dylan Perry, like we talked about, 5 laps ago, the fact that he's just 1 out of 3rd place, and he's going back and forth with Benefield right now, and I don't think he's too concerned with, now less than half the race to go. He still has some, probably some tricks up his sleeve as he used last night with about 3 remaining.
Behind them, Bender and Colin Boyles continue to do battle. They now allow Aiden Young to enter the picture. As out front, it's Brandon Combs. He's dominated the first 40 laps here, as he has now put Andy Piercefield a lap down. Brandon Marlowe working around the 75 machine now as well. Respectfully out of the way up there to the high side. Kenny Haight to the inside now as Dylan Perry moves on up. But Brandon Combs here, a pretty powerful performance, Adam, here at Kern County, as we've got 42 laps in the book.
Yeah, this would be a big deal. A series veteran. I feel like, just having watched from the last few seasons, he's only getting better, and that's kind of a cliche response about a lot of these guys, but really, if Brandon Combs can pick up this win, going from kind of a part-time role last year and still doing well, if he starts the season hot, this guy's going to want to be anything but part-time. He's going to want to try and compete. As we get our 4th caution of the night, not too sure what just happened, but I'll tell you what, 44 laps in, these guys probably need the breather.
So as we'll get lined back up. Not seeing what brought out that latest caution. As it looks like maybe Colin Voiles, he was up into the top 10 and then fell out as he is in the work area, so definitely for that one machine. Not sure exactly what happened to him out on the track, but in the work area nonetheless, as we've got about 33 laps here to go in this Wild West Classic, ending our visit to Kern County Raceway Park here in 2024. Of course, more exciting races to come. We'll head south to Florida here at the end of the month. Green flag waves here. It's Brendan Combs still out front. Whoa! Tight racing action behind him. It's getting wild back in the pack here. Is now Brandon Bender looking to the inside of Benefield.
Oh, man. Love to see that. It's getting a little slippery, though, in the middle of the track. Look at the 22 there of Bender. Got a little loose once again, and you want to see if he can maybe get his grip going, but I don't think he's alone in slipping and sliding there in the middle.
Hands are going back and forth inside those cars as Benefield trying to hold off Bender. He's got McGlone to the inside. McGlone will force the issue out to the outside. A power move there by the 41, and he will clear him as now he's got Bender to his inside.
Alpha males racing alpha males right now. Marlowe up top, and look who it is in second. Dylan Perry, oh, wow, to the top. Brandon Combs, my apologies. Brandon Marlowe trying to overtake Combs, but Perry, a top 3 right now in front of Haight. Oh, we get our 5th caution of the night.
And it's Colin Voiles back into that work area. As that will bring out the caution as we are just shy of 25 laps to go.
Yeah, man, and I'm telling you, I think we're setting ourselves up here for a heck of a finish. And I'm all for it. You know, this is one way to close out a trip here. And, you know, we got a little bit of a break before our next race, so give us all the great action you got. Make it juicy for us. Let's get it juicy, and I'm really eager to see how it closes out.
So our 5th caution of the evening, Colin Voiles into the pit area. He's currently 3 laps down.
And you know, we don't have too many Adams notebook sections, but I do want to give you a little bit of background while we wait for them to clean up this caution. Oh, looks like the pace car will come back, but I will say this is Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway, and it's half-mile oval, just off Interstate 5 in Bakersfield, Kern County. We can drop in some more nuggets, but the capacity crowd of 15,000 on their feet. Many of you watching on Extreme eSpeed TV, and will this be the last green flag run? We'll find out here.
Green flag waves. Combs will take him off in a turn. Oh, Dylan Perry all the way down. He will get contact there. He'll save it. Haight will save it as well as they keep it going. Oh, Dylan Perry hard into the wall on the backstretch. Hicks involved. Cody Early involved. I think Andy Piercefield got a piece of it.
Wow. Those were not only a lot of people involved, but a lot of heavy hitters with brutal damage. Dylan Perry. I think we saw Haight in there possibly. I mean, just a lot of names, and that does not look right for Dylan. We are not used to seeing him really get involved in incidents. Not sure he'll be able to finish on the podium, but if so, I'd love to hear what happened.
As we'll take a look at that replay. He almost goes around there, saves it, and then when they came back on the track, other cars were already there. And around they go. Hard damage, hard hit into that backstretch wall.
Yeah, so my mistake. Hicks, not Haight, involved in really just ramming Dylan Perry.
hard into that wall there, and that will be our 6th caution of the night.
Yeah, the Infield Care Center medical team, you got little brother Andy just got CPR certified, so he's excited for these. But this isn't the place you want to see a lot of racers, but it's good to know we've got a lot of guys who are taking care. We had Leadfoot Larry even stepped in a little bit, so it's good. Lazy Eye Lenny I think also had an opportunity to help out with the stethoscope. So a lot of good stuff happening here at Kern County. The track that's just over 10 years old opened back in May 18th of 2013. Seen a lot of great races, and this is just one of the many.
Looking now at that Brandon Bender machine, he is up into the top 5. He is currently our Buttkicker hard charger, up 11 spots. So he was our fastest in Houston Guttering time trials, looking to pick up another award here tonight, if not the victory as well, as he has charged his way up to the front. See Dylan Perry, Cody Early, both back on the track. Good to see that they will be able to finish this one as we get lined up 2 by 2.
As they come around, pace car is off. We've got about 25 laps or so remaining. Has the opportunity to be a shootout if they keep it clean, but not sure it will.
So Combs and Marlowe take us back to green. Another good start for Brandon Combs as he jumps out front. He's the control car, so he's got that advantage there. Austin, and caution flag waves. Looks like Jacob Lassiter. And that don't look right, as that right front tire obviously having some issues.
Looks a lot like my high school girlfriend hit a curb and said, oopsie, and the tire was facing the wrong way. Luckily this one was not. No, the tire completely comes off. Oh, and it's still rolling. We got our viral moment of the race, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and you saw there, Brandon Bender's in the work area as well, so may have made contact there with Lassiter. As we had just mentioned, Brandon Bender was up into the top 5 after starting 16th. That's the rear of the field. He will give up all those positions now with just 25 laps to go.
And we'll see how many cars are left by the end of this. At the current rate they're going, a relatively clean racing series. Not saying they're dirty at all. I just think, this track with how it constricts and just the surface it's dealing with right now is these guys are working with the best they've got. I'd be interested when we get the chance to talk to our top 3, just kind of hear their different perspectives on this track surface, because it seems like a different storyline than what we were hearing about last night.
So Lassiter will restart 11th. Dylan Perry caught up in that caution just a while ago. With this latest caution and the cars in front of him, he'll restart in the 6th position, so already making his way up towards the front. Good run for Cody Early tonight. He's up 6 spots into 9th, and now our hard charger, presented by Buttkicker, is up to the 5th spot, up 9 spots from his starting spot.
As that pace car comes off, we'll try it again here as taps are playing in the background. Benefield, a lot of good rookies could make a name for themselves right now with 25 laps to go.
Green flag waves, another good start for Brandon Combs. Austin McGlone quick to jump to the inside of Marlowe. He'll slide up the track slightly. Behind him, John Hine going after that Haight of 40. The 46 of Haight as the caution flag waves again. Looks like Cody early. Andy Piercefield involved as well. There's Cody's damage. So Cody Early moves into the work area. It's going to be Brandon Combs and now Austin McGlone to his outside. Green flag waves. It's Brandon Combs, Austin McGlone. Taking us back to racing action. Now it's Marlowe on the attack to the inside of McGlone for the second spot. Kenny Haight is taking over the fourth spot as Dylan Perry and John Hine battle behind him. You have Hicks and Swaney back there as well as they're doing battle. Lassiter's back on up now as the 52 of Swaney gets a little out of shape. That opens the door for Tyler Benefield. They have to check up there. Great defensive driving in the back there as we've got 22 laps to go. And it's still Brandon Combs out front.
$20 laps to go here from Kern County. I got word that Kevin Harvick just arrived to watch the rest of this one.
Some housekeeping duties. Cody Early is off the track still in the 13th spot, now 6 laps down. Aiden Young is also in the work area, 6 laps down as well. Colin Boyle's in 15th. He's done for the evening, down 12 laps, and Jason Crow was out on lap number 16. So Brandon Combs continues to lead. He works around that 75 machine of Andy Piercefield. Now Austin McGlone and Brandon Marlowe will do it side by side. They'll finally clear it there as Kenny Haight moves to the inside. Andy Piercefield looks like he has damage to that right front. Just not turning as well as maybe it started with. Behind him now you have Lassiter and John Hine doing battle. That's a battle for the 6th spot.
Yeah, and Travis, really, I mean, you're looking at these drivers and a lot of dirt on those cars. I don't think we see anyone that doesn't have damage.
As Marlowe continues to pull in that Combs machine out front, a dozen laps to go now. As time is running out, you've got Combs, Marlowe, McGlone, Haight, and Dylan Perry, your top 5.
Man, Combs, if he could hold on, and I'm telling you, it's a big if for any of these drivers, because you almost have this target on your back with the tire wear of this series. They're you may think, wow, yeah, I'm in a good spot right now, and then get sniped right at the end like what we saw last night with Perry. So Combs, Marlowe, and McGlone, your top three. Haight, he's been relevant all night, as well as Perry behind him, and Haight didn't have the damage that Perry did, so if either of these could crack the top three, that'd be a big deal tonight, but only 9 laps to do it as McGlone jumps right back in front of Haight.
They continue to battle. Behind them, you have Lassiter and Perry battling it out. Brandon Combs has jumped out to a half a second lead over in front of Brandon Marlowe. As you can see them on the overhead, the drone shot. Little brother Andy's got that pulled back out again.
As he often does, and you get a good look here from the overhead, and not much ground loss for Combs. And really, I'm a little impressed, mostly because a lot of the beat-up cars may be off the track, but no lap traffic really seen tonight, so kind of been a benefit for the leader, as it's Combs, Marlowe, and McGlone approaching 6 laps to go.
So Brandon Combs looking to pick up a victory. Here, as it is double points night at Kern County Raceway Park. Brandon Marlowe, a good run for him. This will do wonders for his points battle with the leader. He came in 13 points back of Dylan Perry, who currently rides in the 6th position. As there is a lap car up ahead, should come into play here shortly. But Piercefield has been running that outside line to stay out of the way of traffic. As Combs does catch him there on the exit of turn number 4, that does allow Marlowe to gain on him. As now Marlowe will go around the 75. They'll both clear him down the backstretch here, but now that 37's all over the back of the 28.
Oh man, this is where it gets intense. 3 laps to go. Lassiter jumped in front of McGlone, and my goodness, no driver is safe right now, but they're also racing pretty clean, so 2 laps to go. You're in for a treat here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Lassiter, McGlone trading blows. We are at the final lap. Combs, Marlowe, Lassiter. It's going to come down to who wants third more.
So Lassiter and McGlone continue to do battle. It's going to be Lassiter now coming out of turn number 4 for the final time. It's Brandon Combs, your winner at Kern County. Brandon Marlowe second, Jacob Lassiter in third, as Brandon Combs leads all 75 laps at Kern County tonight to pick up the Wild West Classic. You can see those unofficial results coming in over to the left. Lassiter, Haight, McGlone will round out your top 5. 6, Perry, Hicks 7th, Swaney 8th, Bender 9th, Benefield in 10th. So a quick look here back in the pack. The 22, Brandon Bender, up 7 spots, will be our Buttkicker hard charger.
Heck of a run there, yes, Travis. I mean, it's a big deal to win this award, and it's a big deal to talk to these winners in a moment. And they all kind of had a unique night, so I'm excited to get some of them in the booth and just kind of pick their brain on what was an interesting night, a much different night even from last night at the same track.
Yes, it was, and a dominating performance. Really, you had Marlowe and Combs finishing right where they started. Jacob Lassiter had to battle up and down throughout the field throughout the night. And then really from 4th on back, it was mixed up really the entire evening. As Adam, I'll throw it over to you. You have our 2nd place finisher. It's Brandon Marlowe.
Yeah, Brandon Marlowe, another heck of a run here at Kern County. And, there were moments where you were dropping back. There were moments where it felt like you may be able to take the lead. First gut reaction, how are you feeling after a heck of a night?
Oh, that was a long race on this tiny, rough track. Just happy to keep it in one piece and bring it home second.
Yeah, in this race, probably the most we may see, just based on the length of the race and in terms of caution count, was the track is kind of aggressive and just hard to handle with that many guys around you as it looked like? Because there were periods where, we got several cautions in a row. You were able to thankfully keep out of most of that, but could you kind of feel the uneasiness at times?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this track's just it's got the berm on the inside of the corners, so it makes it hard to run the bottom. It pushes you up to the car on the outside. Front and back straightaway are both really tight, so going too wide is tough, and then 3 wide is almost impossible. So it definitely makes for some close, tight racing and a lot of pressure.
And you were very relevant in the race last night. How would you kind of rate your performance, even compare the track from last night to tonight?
I'd say the track was pretty similar. Led the majority of the race last night, and just lost it there in a tight race with Perry. But as far as the overall track conditions, it was pretty similar. I kind of expected it to slick off more tonight with the race being almost twice as long, but it didn't get too bad as far as the slickness. It was just the definitely bumps around the top and just making it hard to handle.
Awesome. Well, before we get back to the East Coast, I want to give you a chance to shout out those partners.
I just got to give a shout out to all the Hot Lap Hero guys, especially Jacob bouncing back, getting third there. Kenny looks like he brought it home for us, so that's awesome to have 3 of us in the top 4. Crow, I hate that for him, man. He had internet trouble and dropped out of the race there. Got to give another shout out to Kenny for putting the wrap on my car. He done a great job with that. Always got to give a shout out to my biggest fan, my daughter Addison, and my wife for letting me come in here and race with these guys. Cody for putting on the league, and you guys doing an awesome job with the broadcast.
Man, we appreciate you, Brandon. Congrats on a great finish, and I hope we get to talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And Travis, it looks like you'll be joining our third place finisher, Jacob Laster. And Travis, you've got Jacob now.
Hey Jacob, Travis up in the booth. You come away with a third place finish here tonight. Walk us through your night here at Kern County.
My night was a headache for sure. I feel like it wasn't going to be a very good one for sure, and I think we were pedaling it pretty early, trying to save a little bit of tires, and I'm not sure who got in the back of us, but they got in the back of us, lifted us up, spun us out, and we had to go to the back, and I just decided to ride back there for a little bit because the way the track was, it was going to be really hard to make anything, any hay as fast as it was at that time. So I just kind of rode and tried to save tires, and then we kept, cautions kept happening, and I thought, well, we're going to be okay, and moved up, and then I got into 2 cars that got tangled up on the front stretch, just barely clipped them and knocked the whole right front off. So we went in, got a car, and I think we had like 20 laps left at that point, and I just was driving mad at that point. We didn't hit nobody, but I just, was driving mad and trying to get up through there, and had really good tires because I saved some, and so it's just kind of a roller coaster night for sure.
We talked about really from 3rd and 4th on back, it was quite the hornet's nest all night long. When you have to go back to the rear and make your way back through that group, what are you thinking and what are you trying to do to make it back up to the front and have a car or just survive that battle through the field?
Well, I mean, it seems like every season this thing gets more competitive with guys, and it's not, that's why track position is crucial in here, man. And the faster guys will tell you, you don't want to lose any positions at all. It's hard to pass a lot of times, and then plus you're trying to pass guys that they can flat out drive, and it comes down to just somebody making one little mistake, and so to lose a bunch of ground is definitely frustrating. But you just try to keep your level head if all possible, and I got awesome teammates because I was about to, like I said, just drive straight through the wall, but they kept me centered, said just stay focused and hit your marks, and so doing that, it kind of worked itself out for sure.
Well, it was fun watching you make your way back up through that field. You come away with a 3rd place finish tonight. Any sponsors you'd like to shout out?
I just got to give a shout out to the team, Hot Lap Heroes, and all their help, and the guys in the race, Kenny and Brandon on their runs, and Jason had horrible luck. He'd have been up here with us for sure if it hadn't been for his internet, or it may have been his computer, but he had some issues, and so hats off to those guys. I got to give a shout out to 789 Designs with the wrap on the car. You guys for the broadcast, Cody for putting the league on for us. I got to give a shout out to Kenny and Austin on that last couple laps. I mean, to run 3 wide here, it's very difficult, and Kenny gave us a lot of room, and I don't know how we managed to do it on no tires, but somehow or another we did it. So shout out to those guys. It was a heck of a run, And then I got to give a shout out to the wife, as always, for taking care of the little one.
Well, great run tonight. Congratulations on third place, and we look forward to talking to you again soon, Jacob.
I appreciate it, fellas.
That's Jacob Lassiter, our third place finisher here tonight, and now we'll throw it down to victory lane. Adam, you've got our winner, Brandon Combs.
That's right, Brandon. Man, you've been in this. You're a veteran of this series, and I want to just kind of get a gauge for your gut reaction. Where does this win, this dominant win, kind of stand in your top performances in this series, and how you rate it yourself?
I rate it pretty high up there. I mean, it was pretty technical. This track was tonight, and it was pretty hard to get around here at a good pace and yet not kill your tires. But yeah, I'd say it's up there. It's definitely not going to beat that first one that I got last year at Kokomo, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's an unforgettable one as well for a totally different reason. But kind of take us through. You luckily got to stay out near the front for almost the entirety basically, and we saw the cautions come out, especially towards that middle, towards the late part of the race. And was it as aggressive and bumpy and just, whether it was slick or just hard to navigate with guys around you, as it looked like from the viewer's perspective?
I mean, it was a handful out there, that's for sure. I mean, you had to navigate the bumps going into 3, then you had to navigate the bumps in the middle of 1 and 2, about the middle to the top side. But if you were able to get the car pointed the right direction on corner entry into 1, you could miss it all. But track was pretty technical, I felt like, off of 4. I felt like that was my weak point. Just felt like I light tires up way too easy, and I'm hardly on the throttle. So I don't know if it was just because the track was so slick, or if because being so late in the race, my tires were just so worn out. I don't know yet.
What kind of went into your preparation for this week? Back-to-back nights, track a little different than it was tonight, and just the feel of the race different than it was last night. And you made it look easy against guys who are not easy to beat. So did you put a lot of prep into this, or was it just you ran hot tonight?
Last night was probably the second time that I've ran late models on this racetrack, so I didn't have a whole lot of laps or time in late models in general at this place. I've won a good amount of 358 races here at some other leagues, but you got to run those cars so much differently and run this place so much different. It's a different animal when you get behind the wheel of the late model here.
And how does that compare then to we got the day before Thanksgiving, February 13th, Super Bowl racing at Charlotte? Is that a track that you're coming into confidently, or are you going to need to maybe run some practice?
I'm pretty confident there that I can run top 5. I mean, I was running good last year and kind of got in a little scuffle with just racing hard last year, and it kind of shoved me back to, I think it was like 8th or 9th or something like that. But I mean, I was able to have the top 5 pace, and I think we'll have a chance there. But we'll see. I mean, I might run some laps. I don't know. I'm not a huge running laps kind of person, but sometimes I will, just because I feel like I need to get back on it or something.
I get it. Well, whatever you're doing, it's working. And before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to shout out those partners.
Yeah, I just got to say thanks to over at Super Dirt Car Series, Bangers Racing, Bang It Sets, Rapid Race Graphics by Perry, Big Pippin Race Cars, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, GFP, Zero FG, FHP Consultant, Holmes Cuts, B&B Custom Baits, Phantom Race Engines, and just everybody that helps out on this thing. And I gotta say thanks to Extreme eSpeed TV. Thanks to Andy for all the support. Thanks to you guys for putting the broadcast on, and having Cody keep giving us a place to come race at and have some fun with the boys.
Awesome. Well, congrats once again, our winner, Brandon Combs.
Well, with that, we will come to a close here from Kern County Raceway as another night of exciting pro late model dirt series action comes to a close. As always, for Adam Johnson, I'm Travis Piercefield and Extreme eSpeed TV. We appreciate you tuning in and looking forward to seeing you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.